Yet the Washington Post editorial board put that in the paper. Why? Well, they despise Donald Trump. They're using Saul Alinsky's rules for Radical 13. Quote, pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Cut off the support network and isolate the target from sympathy. That is what the anti-press, the anti-Trump press, is doing. But back to Trump himself. There are two things in play here. He is not recognizing that explosive comments like those about Muslim women and gun control can and will be used against him. And that an extremely hostile American press will use his words not only to denigrate him, but also to avoid reporting on real issues affecting the USA. I predicted this would happen more than a year ago. Finally tonight, the factor tip of the day, the media despising Donald Trump. And here's why. He has no fear. He could not care less about censoring himself, and the press does not intimidate him. So because of that approach, the media believe they must punish Mr. Trump for being disrespectful and not cowering before them. Plus, they don't like his politics, generally speaking. And that has come to pass. So the Trump campaign is now in some trouble. And today the candidate sought to begin rebuilding his base. In Youngstown, Ohio, Mr. Trump laid out his plan to aggressively defeat Islamic terrorism.
My administration will aggressively pursue joint and coalition military operations to crush and destroy ISIS, international cooperation to cut off their funding, expanded intelligence sharing, and cyber warfare to disrupt and disable their propaganda and recruiting.
Now, in speaking with Mr. Trump over the months, it's safe to assume that he would attack ISIS on the ground using some American forces. That separates him from the Obama administration and perhaps Hillary Clinton. Mr. Trump also reiterated that he will not get any more specific about his ISIS strategy. That was immediately mocked by Hillary Clinton.
My administration will not telegraph exactly military plans and what they are.
Sometimes he says he won't tell anyone what he'll do because he wants to keep his plan, quote, secret. And then it turns out the secret is he has no plan.
Now, that's politics as usual, but it's clear that Donald Trump would take a far more aggressive policy against the jihadists than the Democrats are advocating. That's clear. So you, the voter, have that contrast to consider. But overall, the press has succeeded in marginalizing Donald Trump to some extent. And he has helped them do it. Again, the bombast worked in the primaries. His attacks work. But they will not work in the general election unless the attacks that Trump makes are very specific. So if you say President Obama created ISIS, for example, you have to immediately back that up with facts. If you say something about elections being rigged, you're going to get hammered unless you can point to some data to back it up. Now, Talking Points is dedicated to covering the Trump-Clinton race in a fair way. It's a fact that if you do not condemn Donald Trump, you yourself are condemned by many in the media. Same thing in the far-right precincts. If you don't call Hillary Clinton the devil, then somehow you become Lucifer. Those points of view are dangerous. We need clarity on issues, not mud-based attacks. Despite all the controversy, Donald Trump could still win the presidency. He needs to discipline himself rhetorically. He needs to start spending money in the swing states to counter negative ads against him, and he needs to present himself in a less personal way. Today in his speech, he was strong about protecting America in the areas of immigration, security, and dealing with terror on the net. Liberal Americans aren't going to vote for Trump anyway, so there's little risk in him continuing to lay out a tough anti-terror and anti-illegal alien program. Combine that with a faltering economy, and Trump has a chance. But right now, Hillary Clinton's definitely ahead. And that's enough. Next on the rundown, we'll have reaction. Then later have dishonesties in national media anyway. Also, Charles Krauthammer on a possible solution to racial violence. Those reports after these messages.